Hey guys, it's Logan here.
September 1st, Cryptozoo.co. I think my game's gonna make some waves. This video is mainly for my fans and anyone who's on the fence that I hope I can help understand a situation that is tremendously complex but has been oversimplified for both views and clicks.
Influencers have always found new ways to pump revenue out their fans. Whether it's lazy merch, crowdfunding a game, or full-ass tours. Recently, there's been a rising trend of these creators promoting cryptocurrency, shilling them on their Instagram stories. Cause, you know, I'm sure the Kardashians understand what they're talking about. Crypto has of course allowed some people to rocket to the top, but this rise in making money online has also brought along bad actors, who have come into this market to manipulate, scam, and leave people at a loss. All for the sole purpose of greed and ego. From one failed crypto dump that Logan and his friends pretended to stumble across.
Now I know what you're thinking. Logan, what the fuck are you doing here? I'm doing the same thing as you. Holding my doink. That's what I'm doing. This is a shitcoin I believe in. It's my favorite one, to be honest.
To using animals as props in his vlogs. These are the scandals of Logan Paul. But before we dive into this video, I have a few words to say from today's sponsor, Atlas VPN. Imagine this. You take a trip over to the US, you crack open your laptop and you want to watch some Netflix after a long flight. So you go to watch your favorite show, Barbie as the Princess and the Pauper. No, not that type of pop. But wait, there's a problem. It's not available in the US. As tears stream from your eyes, you suddenly remember. With Atlas VPN, you can simply change your location to the UK and continue watching even while being abroad. And this works in a load of different countries all around the world too. Not only this, but it also protects your privacy by covering your tracks completely, meaning hackers can't steal your internet data. Wait, doesn't incognito mode do that? No. They can see everything. Atlas VPN also blocks malicious links, ads, as well as trackers, and even notifies you if someone is trying to steal your data, as well as offering you discounts while browsing for major apps such as Netflix and Spotify, airlines, hotels, and more. Right now, Atlas VPN is running a huge discount. It means you can get a 3-year subscription for just less than $2 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Time is running out though, so make sure to get the deal by clicking the link in the video description below. So this is the story of Cryptozoo. Cryptozoo was Logan Paul's idea first announced back in 2021 on his Impulsive podcast, with the premise being a fun game to make money from. People put their trust in Logan Paul, with his name being big and well known, and invested in this idea for the game. It was pitched to be a game in where you buy tokens and eggs, which you can later hatch and then receive an animal from. Once you hatch them, you can then crossbreed them into different animals. The rarer the animal being more valuable, and that's where the money was. Or more so, that's what people thought. People had spent millions on the pre-launch, with there being over $2.5 million in investments in just eggs alone. But when the game finally launched, there was a small issue, you see. The game, it didn't work. But this was a project Logan claimed to have spent 6 months on, as well as being $1 million out of pocket due to him and his team believing in it so much. So, what went wrong? There were other lies to the game, such as his claim that the animals were handmade by different artists. People, I guess, expected NFTs with some effort put into them, but instead were given some Adobe stock photos that had been blended together, and this was revealed just shortly before the game launched. Someone paid real human money for this. Coffeezilla is rightfully puzzled by the $1 million claim, as it doesn't add up at all. The art couldn't have cost that much, but the blockchain also was a copy, known as a fork for other code. Now, what a fork means basically is that it was a copy of another blockchain. Think of it like a template, sort of. After this disaster launch though, Logan went ghost completely, avoiding the topic altogether. Instead, people were left clutching onto straws from a guy called Ben Roth in the Discord server, who promised buyers that the project would have a 180 turnaround after hatch day. A lot of people lost a lot of money from this, and were even more frustrated when the game didn't even work, with some users not even being able to access their accounts. Now, mods of the game told Coffee that at some point eggs did work, but it was too buggy, so the feature got shut down. After this, the price fell 63% in just 24 hours, resulting in Logan Paul going quiet, as I said. Paul only made an effort to show up twice in the Discord server, saying, "Currently sober, shaking my head," and "yo." Yeah. As you can guess, they probably felt pretty fucked at this point. Ben Roth continued to lie and keep people's hopes up by promising that Logan was working on ways to fix this. As investors waited, Logan's friends began to tease that Logan was about to drop a big project. A secret project, in fact, that Logan put his soul into, just a month after his biggest launch to claim. They all thought it was Cryptozoo, as he'd spent months prior talking about it. But then, investors were left pissed, after Logan was asked about his new project and if it was about the eggs, to which he was very dismissive.
Is that the thing with the egg? The zoo?
No.
Okay, that's
This one's gonna be, yeah, this will be the craziest I've ever done.
So what was this new exciting project? God, I hope it wasn't a new NFT project, because it's not like, you know, he's done 2 of those, and that would be it was another NFT project. Okay, Logan, stop! So the project was 99 different Polaroids photos sold off as NFT. Who fucking cares? But people were raging, understandably, after being led on, teased, and left hoping Logan didn't abandon Cryptozoo. At this point, people had lost money. I mean, some guy had lost 500k Australian dollars. So Logan began to slowly talk about things, and that it wasn't his fault at all, instead blaming shady characters behind the scenes who messed everything up. Logan stated the lead developer who took the code fled to Switzerland and held it hostage for $1 million. So Coffee tracked down this person, Z, and confronted him about this. This is what he had to say. Logan allegedly never paid him at all, whilst he was burning $50k a week on building this thing for Logan. All he got was a bunch of photoshopped JPEGs. They negotiated a $1 million payday for the project, but when the payment never came through, he admitted to holding the code hostage. Coffee makes a good point here that it strangely matches the $1 million Logan Paul mentioned earlier. Coffee then reached out to another blockchain developer who also claimed he got paid zero money. So with this information and stories, he decided to confront Logan Paul's manager Jeff and to get a statement or a comment before running the story. He got on a phone call with Jeff, who threatened Coffee not to run the story, claiming that he had a responsibility not to run fake news, and sort of threatens to sue him, but then takes it back, and there's this back and forth where he's trying to say he didn't threaten him, but he very clearly did. But this is confusing, as Logan was allowed to slander and shit talk the developers who allegedly stole his code. In the end, Logan's manager Jeff refused to make a comment. Now, on the downside for developers, a lot of the deals they made were verbal and were not on paper, and when it came to getting them confirmed, there were always delays. Coffee makes a point that this is where they screwed up, as they should have got every detail in writing, but that's when this all takes a massive turn after a new character is introduced into the Paul lore. No, not that one. A new middleman, who was almost skimmed over completely. It turns out the developers had no direct contact with Logan. Instead, a man called Eddie Ibanez. Okay, I hope I still have everyone, cause that's the simplest part. Part 2 is where things get a lot more scrambly. So, who is Eddie? Well, according to others, he is a computing science genius who hacked AOL as a teenager. He also attended MIT, which is one of the most key and highly ranked institutions in the world. Eddie was then recruited by the government to track down criminals and even work for the CIA. This is where things get crazy, because everything I said there is bullshit. Coffee came across an article deeply buried in the internet that depicts all of Eddie's claims to be complete bullshit. The man who did this investigation of his own was a guy called Adam. How deep did his lies go? Well, it's not just career-wise. Eddie lied about his upbringing too, claiming to be an orphan. This was discovered to be a lie after Adam looked up his family and found old videos on Fox News with Eddie's mom being referenced. Eddie's accountant also confirmed this too. Adam then contacted the MIT office and asked if he had attended the school. So they looked through their files and responded back. He never attended the school. Another lie. He made up stories to get into the team, and he's managed to gain friendships with big celebrities by lying and manipulating them. Logan's manager Jeff praises him though. But back to the Paul side, what makes this thing worse is that Adam confronted Jeff with some of his lies and warned him. But because celebrities had given Jeff good word about Eddie, Jeff decided to ignore the warning and continue working with him, claiming that he had trust in him in his business world and didn't really care about the sports side of things. Coffee reached out again for comment and got a call from Jake the Crypto King. Not much to say about this guy. Rich, crypto bro, worked on some videos in the past with Logan, such as his Pokemon card series. Jake blamed Eddie for the majority of Cryptozoo's failures and that it wasn't Logan's fault at all. But here's where things get worse again. So Eddie was kicked off the team months ago, but still the game wasn't working. After Logan claimed he was going to go back and fix things, but this never happened. They never fixed it. So what about the new team who came along to fix this mess? Well, they quit just a month later because they hadn't been paid for over a month. Zilla backs us up of Jeff paying the team block ops. They made a departure post from Cryptozoo after not being paid, but got the money the day after they quit. So this just goes back to the old problem of developers not being paid and investors being screwed over by this. This means Eddie isn't at fault for everything because when he left, they still continued to have the same problems. And at this point, everyone who invested felt betrayed and scammed and had given up hope that Logan was going to make things right. Okay, part 3 is where I personally got lost at first, just because I'm not really into crypto or the terminology, but this is basically what went down. So we are left with 4 suspects now: Logan Paul, Jeff, Eddie, and Jake. Eddie and Logan were caught in leaked DMs of copying another idea called CryptoKitties, with Jake leading the project, originally calling it Crypto Pets. The whole motivation behind the project was to make money. I know, so shocking. Eddie then confirms a list of celebrities who were in. Coffeezilla DM'd all the investors and heard back from only one, Ryan Kavanaugh, who denied having this conversation with Eddie. So they come up with a plan to make some cash, then buy in early before it's launched officially and offer it to friends and family too. On the stealth launch day, that's when things began to go wrong though. Only 5 of them knew about the coin, but somehow bots or buyers had gotten a hold of it. Basically, it seems like Crypto King Jake tried to buy more shares than he was agreed, which explains why he is dismissive in his messages when the others start to freak out and worry about their losses. Oh no! The millionaires are losing money from their own scam, boo-hoo. Then a new clone token is created and is airdropped to the new wallets, with 200 accounts being left behind and essentially blacklisted. One of these being Jake, leading him to call Logan a scam artist in leaked DMs, and this all happened on launch day, making the value tank completely. Now, Logan and Jeff didn't sell at all, which looks good on their side, I'll admit. Jake the King sent his tokens to smaller wallets and sold them to make a profit in the millions, alongside Eddie, who did this as well and made over $1 million. Overall, it was a bit of a finger-pointing blame game of who did what and who screwed who over. The main issue here was that they didn't pay developers on time, which led to delays and led to investors being screwed over. Coffee has reached out to everyone involved and none of them have offered to pay back the victims for the scam. Jake and Eddie still made millions, and Logan's got the 9-year-olds causing stampedes in Asda and Aldi with his flavoured water, so I'm sure he's absolutely fine. At the end of the day, they were just annoyed that Logan hadn't spoken up about this. Well, that was until Logan dropped one of the worst response videos, crushing any respect left for him. So what did Logan address in his video to debunk the claim? Well, he avoided almost most of them. Instead, he basically called it lies and criticized Coffeezilla for interviewing a criminal. The criminal, being Z, had previous felonies. The main problem here is Logan hired this guy, so he just admits he hired a criminal, but all Coffeezilla did was reach out for his side. He ends it by claiming Cryptozoo is coming in 2023/2024. Again, it's just probably not gonna happen, especially with that maybe. And it isn't the first time he's let people down with deadlines, which I'll talk about more very soon. He ends the video by pulling a classic American moment and threatens to sue him. See you in court. This was a clear attack on Coffeezilla, which Logan later claims the war is not with Coffeezilla in his response post in Discord. So he deleted his video and made a post claiming that he apologized to Coffeezilla and wants to take accountability and work things out. Now, I mentioned previous crypto scams. Ding Doink, Logan's first attempt to pump crypto NFTs, was through short, unfunny videos that were a clear ripoff of South Park. But when Ding Doink first started, Logan and his friends didn't take credit for the project. They acted as if though they stumbled across it and believed in it. What actually happened though was that Logan founded this and completely abandoned ship when it began to tank. If you look at the Dink Donk Twitter now, it's pretty dead, with a movie being promised in 2022 though, so that's good. Except that it's 2023 and the movie's not out. There's one more thing that I wanted to address as well, and it's the whole pig situation. When this first came out, people ran with the story that Logan abandoned one of his animals and had left him for dead. He rehomed Pearl when he moved to Puerto Rico. A farm then looked after her, but shut down soon after, about a year or so. It was passed on to different owners, with one of the pigs escaping the farm and one actually dying. So basically, it got passed to different owners, and it seems like she escaped again. And I'm not here to call Logan out or hold him responsible for Pearl. I do, however, have a problem with influencers buying animals solely for the purpose of content. He bought a teacup pig, aka Pearl, but half expected her not to grow as big. And when she did, Pearl was set to the back of the garden and fell into depression. Logan rightfully bought Pearl a friend, and that was the one that actually got killed, unfortunately, but he did do a right thing. He's done this before though with other animals such as dogs. It isn't fair to treat animals as props, as it gives them a shitty start to their lives when they could have gone to a loving home in the first place and not being used for YouTube views. So Logan has dropped the charges and said that he won't sue Coffee and is working to respond and make a comeback. So far, he's tweeting this dumb shit. Funny wording for "I fucked up because of my own consequences, Logan," but to sum things up, I think this is a lesson learned that Logan will always do the loop cycle of doing something bad, responding poorly, and then trying to gain everyone's trust back. For the love of God, Logan, put the brakes on your crypto shite until you actually have a solid plan that isn't gonna scam people, and also fix your previous scams. Big thanks to Atlas VPN once again. As I mentioned, Atlas VPN is running a huge discount. This means you can get a 3-year subscription for just less than $2 a month with a 30-day money back guarantee. As I said, time's running out, so make sure you grab this deal by clicking the link in the description below. But that's all for me now, and I'll see you in the next one.